Hello? Bad dude, since I'm not quite ready to expose and humiliate Chrisean through virtual entertainment so that everyone may experience your expertise. I have some very weird developments on the Blueface versus Skillet performance. It's your little kid Letitia. You won't believe how egregiously Blueface humiliated Chrisean Rock, but I have the full update for you all. Does she genuinely want to end her relationship with him and Jaden? Did Chrisean Rock come to me in a hurry, or did I come hunting? For Ken Rock plunged as of right now. Blueface just made up a few new things. So if you all believed we had heard the most recent information on the Chrisean versus Blueface show, you had better reconsider. According to Chrisean, Blueface is fascinated with her and gets her pregnant once. More, you all have the chance to do so because of the charges against Chrisean. And the fact that these two are currently becoming more turbulent than chaotic. Blueface asked Jaden to marry him last week. Since the proposal, Chrisean has been acting strangely and has been making every effort to end the relationship and gain Blueface back. As you may have heard from my fantasy music applauding, since Blueface had been to Baltimore to see Chrisean, we all assumed they were still together. So when he proposed to Jaden, we were all pretty much as astonished as Chrisean. It was very embarrassing for Jaden that, in spite of her good intentions, she had an exceptionally open mail out on Twitter saying, "A service station, it's insane. A bump and shooting." Before that, he and Jaden had collaborated to provide virtual entertainment to comedian Ken during Koi's pregnancy. You all go off. And I know you all need the comedian, even though a music video or a performance in a studio for amusement purposes is different. She also disclosed that she was leaving his name and saying goodbye for the last time. "I apologize to all of the fans and I'm not doing music with Mill anymore," she said. "Nothing on his page is currently my assent, Blueface. And I don't justify torture, I simply maintain that my children should be great," he remarked. As of right now, these young women have grown. People generally turned against me when I tried to help them. I marked the mothers of my 2 children. I recognize the issue. I have no idea how to be a deadbeat father, he continued. I apologize for not meeting your parents' awful father's expectations. He became so enraged that he realized he could never date. Jaden, since she didn't believe in him when he was just starting out in the profession, and told him he would bomb. She was treating him like an operation. I never really treated Jaden seriously when I first started rapping because she didn't support me or my music, he tweeted. I married her because she told me one day in the studio that I couldn't be nippy or PDY. It was a ruse to refuse her. I quickly apologized for not being able to say F my child for you. Given the part I play in my kids' lives, can't quite believe that you would demand that of me. Believing that any female influences my decision to choose either of them for my kids should end my life. But I've cheated most of the time, and I'm completely responsible for the part I've played in these women's lives. I'm going to try to pass them off as real. Damn it. She even attempted to rename her infant Jonathan Jeer in order to give him Blueface's name because he and Ken were having a great time together. That changed, though, when he made the decision to humiliate her by sharing a photo of their child's privates online while pretending to have a hernia. After a confused debate with Chrisean, he instantly turned to Jaden, and they resumed their mocking of Chrisean. In any event, it stunned us all since we thought he was with Jaden for a brief moment before he was able to change his course and return to KRYZN. At first, he chose to pop the question, which we all kind of expected since he needed to make Khan envious. To give you a brief summary, once Ken disclosed that she had moved on from Blueface, he and Ken were having a nasty quarrel throughout the course of the following several days. In addition, she collaborated with rapper Lil Mayu on the song Mistake, your beat, and substituted Jonathan's song with Mabu. Since Blueface is known to feel that way about Chrisean seeing other women, it would be wise for him to pop the question to Jaden as a way to express his disdain for her erratic but amiable demeanor. Additionally, he alluded to this when he obscured Chrisean on Twitter, writing, I have someone who has never dated anybody else and who has never claimed to have had my significant other. I won for genuine follow-up with these young women. Jaden has 2 messes, 1 child, a father, and a ring that is genuinely her. As a woman, you are in that basic life that looks like a container of D's. Pick one and go if you have more than 1 child and a father. I'm thrilled to have someone I know warrants giving all to me at the end of the day. 1 husband, 2 children, and a similar family, he said after so many failed connections as a girl. She went on and on about how Blueface was still into her, how he truly needed her, and how he was using Jaden to try to get her attention. I played as a clever Cherry Crane, sort of played strongly into this dot to make her envious so she would rush back. But we later understood that the proposal's justification might have something to do with Jaden's succulent arrangement bearing the Columbia record symbol. I'll take them back and I'll get this, we said. At that moment, people began to believe that Blueface's proposal had little to do with Chrisean or regaining her, but rather was primarily motivated by his desire to secure Jaden's approach. Since we all had a lot of talent together, Blueface attempted to manage Chrisean's finances when they were together and fought any employee who came near her. People began discussing how Crab's desire to manage Jaden's money and your skill had nothing to do with the Chrisean narrative. And as a result, people kind of forgot about it. I said, so in order to arouse Jaden's passion, Chrisean was attempting to convince everyone that Blueface had just proposed to her. She seems to be making every effort to persuade us that Blueface is sincerely attempting to make her lustful and that he urgently needs her best now that the topic has been put out of the public eye. She resolved to give it her all after realizing that people were sick of her pranks. She declared that she was expecting her 2nd child and that she intended to have more in the future. Do you need more children in the future? I generally realized I needed to be a mother. So 1 down, 1 on the way, and how was the last 10 to go? She added that she and Blueface had been secretly infatuated with one another. She also made an appearance on Jason Lee's digital broadcast, where she was pleased with her demand that she and Blueface sleep together without any commitments. Ripe, I just had a baby, I know you all. So do you really think you're pregnant? He appeared to be discussing the recent birth of his child, which he was aware of. I'm being straightforward, and this demonstrated her point, which sparked conversation. Furthermore, Blueface did not immediately refute her accusation, which raised questions about whether Chrisean was being honest and whether Blueface was too guilty to do so. Chrisean, on the other hand, went live on Instagram to make sure that the ring that Blueface had proposed with was indeed indicated for her because she wasn't done with ending Jaden and Blueface's romance forever. That was Miche said that Jaden arranged the proposal to incite her jealousy and that Blue, not him, had intended to pop the question. Many people are savage, right? She added, and I don't savage for genuine. I became clean only by thinking about the receipts. Since the ring does appear a bit too tiny on Jaden, this sort of fits in with what people have been talking about. Even though I am aware that most rings are tiny, Jaden's finger was getting purple from the tiny size of this. 1. She chose to make sure she was lying down with Blueface following the suggestion because, as I previously stated, it wasn't intended to cause an issue. Simply won't happen. Therefore, I think Blue and I need to let each other be who we really are. He cannot provide me with what I need, and I cannot provide him with what he needs. She didn't stop there, as she blew on the phone while he was attempting to connect with her and attach, and she shot a video of herself. We need that deadly ass that never leaves it. There's no complaining with you? I'm not sure. She most likely anticipated receiving acclaim from admirers and having her skills ridiculed. Undoubtedly, she was bombarded with clonery, with people pointing out how strange she was for continuing to be enamored with Blueface after he proposed to someone else. He also continues to deny that he is the father of her child, even though she's always criticizing him for being a bad father. She's actually sleeping with him, a young girl. She informed him honestly that she was disappointed in herself for continuing to be with Blueface, yak to yak. Aside from how I would handle a spirit tide, she also informed him that today was a stage. She stated, I really needed to make a stride back since I still gave a piece of myself to a man who would rather not be a dad to my main child still in me, man. I nearly gave in to this man's message that I received today. Hold up, cut. The juvenile self-centeredness is our graciousness to you all, she added. I'm discouraged with myself right now. So, hello Blue, go yourself, stop hitting me, brother. Go have one more thump of cream on you, in addition to the dangerous and unsanitary home slice. The manner you move will expose you to HIV, he said. It's crazy how every move Chrisean makes, it's continuously about Blueface and Blue. Countenances crying and missing her, and afterward she and little Mayo as of now are clout pursuing with that tune. You're a mother now cries, and now is the right time to wrap all of the poisonous hallucinations up and zero in on your psychological well-being, assuming that is true after the messages, whether they're on the internet and untruth all day long that attempt to irritate my significant other. Why do you keep trying when I know that you and that man will never be straight? I need to hear what you all think about this present issue, even though Chan is making herself appear terrible and this show is ridiculous. Put this jumbled triplet out of your mind and take a look at this next. Give it your best attempt to end the connection, youngster, even if it can be hard. You should be so envious of Jaden since she got the ring, which isn't fixed in stone.